Good morning. My name is Diego and I will teach you today about modal verbs. The modals are a group of auxiliary verbs, for example, can, could, might, must, ought, shall, should, will, and would, that we can use for other verbs to say what is possible or what is permitted or also what is necessary. Another group of modal are the phrasal modals, that are a group of verb phrases, for example, be able to, be allowed to, be going to, be supposed to, have to, or have got to, that can be used instead of modal verbs. For example, in the case of can and should and will, that are just three types of modal verbs, we can use, for example, in this case, we wait for David. If we include the word should, we will have some minor possibility that David is going to appear in this situation for the emphasis. In the case of can, if we put can over here, we will express the possibility that I, which is some person, will wait for him. And in the case of will, we are going to make a question including it work, will it work. These are the simple modal verbs in the case of should, can, and will, but as I also explained before, there are too many more. In the case of phrasal verbs, we are going to explain so many phrasal verbs beginning with the verb be or the verb have that we can use instead of the modals. Our other phrasal verbs like be allowed to or also be going to can express the can possibility or the will possibility. So, for just make it clear and understand it right, phrasal modals replace modal verbs in some phrases. For example, in this case, we can fill this blank by win this game with the word we will be able to win this game. This will be able will be the modal verb that we uses in the phrasal modals. Okay? So the phrasal modals replace the modal verbs in some times. But we also have complex modals. The complex modals we use for the form of a modal perfect. Every modal perfect tense with a modal before have plus a past participle, correct? Does anybody have questions right now? No? Okay. So, we form the modal continuous with a modal form be plus a present participle. In the case of this complex model, we don't forget to use the past participle. So, we use the modal verb that is made and the past participle that is combined with a have modal and the past participle taken. So, complex model will express like Nick may have taken your book. It's a possibility. In the case of prediction, we use it for saying something that we think or prevent that is going to happen in the future. In the case that prediction, we also are going to be using the forms in the future. So, prediction is used with a future form will. I will finish this before Friday, which is a prediction of what you think is going to happen. In the case of willingness, we have habits and preference that we also use will and would, but with another different emphasis. We use will to say what we are definitely going to do, and we use would of something that we are not really so sure if we're going to do it. So, in this case of willingness, if I put would in this sentence, it would have most people would pay more. So I am not so certain or sure if there's any other possibility of, in this case, people paying more. And for the last time, and this is the last example of modals, and the example is for ability. Some ability that someone is expressing to other people. So we use this with could and can. In this case, I is the person and decide what to hear. and we are referring to this ability with can or could, or even in the negative form of cannot in the case of can and could in the case of could. So that is also another way to express the modal verbs that we are studying. These are all the modal verbs, and does anybody have a question for this? No?
Wait, I have something to tell you.
Alright, do you want the podium?
Yes.
Alright, come.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to tell you another type of modals what we have, like for example, permission. We use can and could to ask for permission. For example, in that sentence, we have here, I borrowed your dictionary, and we have to put can. Another example that we have is we leave early today, and here we have to put could. Then we have another type of words for permission, that is may, might, and be allowed to. In formal situations, we can use may when we ask for or give permission. In the next sentence, we have we come on, and we're going to put may, we come in. And finally, we have the other sentence that is, that day was the first time I made my own breakfast. And I have to put I allowed to. Then another type of modals are possibility. The possibilities are may, might, can, and could. Here we use may when we saw that a possible situation is common or usual. The first sentence is peppers be green, yellow, or red. Here we are going to put may. Then the next one is in those days people spend their return life in the village. Here we have to put might. In those days people might spend their entire life in the village. Another word for possibility is can or could. We can use can or could in general statement to say that a situation is or was possible. The next one is the all hands be quite cold even in summer. Here we have to put could. And in the next one is some dogs be very dangerous. And here is the word can. And the final group of models are the obligation and advice. We use here the words should, ought to, be supposed to, and had better. Obligation and advice with should is expressed an obligation to talk about what is expected and generally to say what we think is a good or appropriate idea. For example, the police should crack down on speeding. Well, that's all I have to tell you. I think that is going to be good for you, for your class.
Alright, thank you, Priscilla. Thank you for your cooperation to the class.